call today. I really appreciate your time, and I'm sure my viewers are going to get a lot of great value from the stuff that you're going to be giving them. First of all, how has the law of attraction and manifestation helped you in your life and contributed to where you are today?
Massively, mate. I think it was the biggest pardon me, it was the biggest thing holding me back in my life. I had been working. I'd been a serial entrepreneur. I've been trying lots and lots of businesses for many years and investing a lot of time, energy, and money on myself, but in my skill set in terms of my ability to communicate and negotiate and put deals together. And I spent a lot of time on those kinds of things. And I consider my skill set to be quite high. And but I was not getting the results I was after. And so I was speaking to a lot of people who, maybe even a little bit arrogantly, I thought, man, if these guys can do it, I can do it. Like they can't do what I can do. But for some reason, they were having success and I wasn't. And I was beating myself up about it. I was scratching my head about it. And it came to the realization that I think there was something about me that was not attracting the results I wanted, but in fact repelling the results I wanted. And so I came to the conclusion that I had to start working more on rather my skill set, my mindset. And I had heard about visualization and law of attraction. I thought I'm going to start applying that. And so I thought, okay, and I started doing the normal things that I guess we do. We cut out pictures in magazines and whatever. And that didn't really get a result for me. And I mean, I'm not here to plug MindMovies, but it was in fact my primary product now is MindMovies. It's a video of what I want my life to look like. That's what I did. I created a video of what I wanted my life to look like. I watched it regularly, and my life, it was the last piece of the puzzle that unlocked the floodgates to my success. Once my head was right, all of a sudden the exact opposite. I wasn't repelling money anymore. I was attracting it. And I started to be very, very successful and continue to be so today, and I attribute it primarily to visualization.
Awesome, awesome. And being that your primary product is a creation software that helps people create a video version of their ideal life, you must have some really crazy stories of stuff that you've put out there and attracted, and it's just blown you away. Is there any that come to mind that you can share with us?
My whole life. You personally, from me or from customers?
For yourself. Like, is there any stories that tower above the others that where something's happened that is just like, wow, how the hell did that happen, that you've obviously thought about previously and it's just come to manifest?
Yeah, man, literally, it's like my whole life. I designed my life 3 years ago and put it into MindMovies, and I've continued to tweak it and update it as I go along. But my whole life is exactly how I planned it. I live an endless summer. I live the summer in Sydney, and then I come here and live the summer in San Diego. And I get several months of travel in each year. I'm completely mobile and can go wherever I want, whenever I want, and choose to work or not work for as long as I want or as little as I want. I articulated in my mind movie what I wanted my girl to look like and what my girl to be like, and her personality, her intelligence. You've been lucky enough to meet her. She's just the joy of my life. So it's fantastic to have finally come across her and found her, and we have a fantastic relationship now. The finances are there, the travel's there, the girl's there, my health is there. All the things that I articulated that I wanted, I have. So it's my whole life.
Awesome. There was one story that I remember you telling me when we were in Melbourne, and that was about you were lining up to get into a club, and a lot of your friends were before you, and they got turned down. Do you want to just tell that story? I think it's a great one.
Yeah, okay. We're at the Melbourne Cup, which is for people not from Australia. It's the biggest racing carnival.
It's sort of a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's basically it's a state holiday for that state, and they're trying to get it made a national holiday. So it's anyway. We were down there. The city's absolutely alive. There's people everywhere. And that particular day, I mean, this is even part of the story. One of the things I said in one of my mind movies was I get invited to the coolest places. So back in my single days, I got invited to go along to the finals of a modelling competition that was being held that weekend in lieu of the Melbourne Cup. So I got invited along to that, and I spent the whole night with a whole bunch of models there and whatever at the party. And then there was an after party. And again, I mean, I should not have been invited to that. It was for models only and photographers and all that kind of stuff. Fortunately enough, I got invited along, and I thought it had all broken down because we ended up splitting up into separate cabs, and I had a couple of friends there with me who, again, were on the same boat. So I could have like gone with the people that I was invited to and kind of guaranteed my way into the after party. But then I thought my friends are going to be left behind, so I said goodbye to them, and I said, look, we'll get a cab, we'll meet you there. We got there. Of course, it's mayhem. It's the coolest club in Melbourne and the biggest day of the year. There's a line of models down one side and a line of models down the other, and there's no way in the world 3 guys are getting into this nightclub. No way whatsoever. And one of my friends, who is a good friend but not necessarily a believer in the law of attraction, made quite a snide remark as I walk up to the thing, as we could see what we're about to get into, and there's no way of getting in. He goes, "I'll just use law of attraction, right? Do what you always do." And it was a completely smart aleck remark, but I thought, okay, I'll do that. And so as we were walking there, I just pictured us walking in easily, and I just went, I went up, just stood at the back of the crowd, and I happened to be quite tall, so I was good. I looked at the top of them, eyed the head bounce, and I just said, "Higgins, 3." And I pointed to my 2 friends, and he was like, "Yeah, come on in." And we all just got into the club and had a great night after all. But it was just, it should not have happened. 3 guys trying to get into a club like that, not supposed to happen, and we did.
Awesome. I'm sure you got a bag load more of stories like that as well, where just things shouldn't happen, but they just do, and it's really kick-ass.
Yeah, it's like getting invited to the Playboy Mansion party. It's not something I expected, but I enjoyed that invitation. Had a great night that night too.
Well, that's on one of the like top hardest places to get in the world. Even when you know someone, it's still really hard to get in there, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I just had no business being invited to that. I was holidaying in Mexico. I was holidaying in Cuba, actually, and I got this email that says, "Hey, you can come to the Halloween party at the Playboy Mansion." I was on a plane over there in seconds. Just, again, a great night. One of the things in my mind is I get invited to amazing places.
Awesome. So, yeah, we've covered a bit about how much of a rock star lifestyle you're leading now from using the powers of visualization. Where were you before? What year did you create MindMovies and take it to the world? And where were you before that?
Okay, so in December of 2006, I made my first MindMovie. Prior to that, as I said, I was a serial entrepreneur trying lots of businesses, nothing working for me, and I was at a bit of a rock bottom place. I was working in a factory just to make ends meet and pay the rent. I had about $70,000 in personal debt, plus a mortgage for a property, and just life was not pleasant. So that was December of 2006. I made my MindMovie. By March of 2007, we had built the MindMovies site, and I also, another business started working out much better for me, and so I was able to leave the factory job because I had enough income from another business. It wasn't something I was passionate about, though, so that got me out of the factory and be able to spend more time doing what I want, and I started sharing the magic of MindMovies. And by June of 2007, MindMovies was up and running, and it was very, very successful very, very quickly.
Awesome. So you were working in a factory before you started MindMovies, and that was basically keeping you afloat.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I think we could all relate to that, where we've done stuff that we don't want to do, and we've known we had to because it was part of that step. Like, you know, a lot of my story from 2008, 2009, and yeah, it's only been the last 6 to 8 months where business has been a lot easier for me, and now that I've found my passion and I've found what I love doing, that more opportunities and more money comes knocking at my door. So
the mindset I had about that, Mitch, was I thought, okay, well, because I was 22 when I figured out the lie of go to school, get a good education, get a job, work for 40 years, retire well. I was 22 when I figured out that was a complete lie. And I just graduated university, and I'd been in corporate for 6 months, and I just went, this is such a hoax. Yeah. So I thought, okay, well, I spent the last age 5 to 22, what's that, 17 years figuring out how to become an employee and become one. and I've realised it's not for me, if it takes 17 years to learn how to become an entrepreneur, then that's how long it's going to take, and that's how long I'm going to do it. I know with complete certainty if I continue down this path, I am not going to reach my full potential. That's the corporate. That was for me, by the way. If you're in the corporate world, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It was not what I wanted. And I want to be really clear about that. I do not look down on the corporate world at all. It's fine for lots and lots of people. It's just not my choice. So I knew that wasn't going to be right for me. So I thought, it doesn't matter how long it takes. But I thought it makes sense to me that I'm going to do this for as long as it takes to achieve my dreams. And my dream was to have this business that gave me this lifestyle and I could work as much or as little as I want. So I just committed to, no matter how much, it's going to take some time to learn. The skills I learnt at primary school, high school, university was to teach me to be an employee. If I wanted to learn to be an entrepreneur, I had to go through a whole learning process to learn to become that. And there are some seminars out there, but there's no entrepreneur school out there. It doesn't exist. So I knew it was going to be...
is failing multiple times, falling down and picking yourself back up again.
It's the school of hard knocks. That's the only school for entrepreneurs there is. And so that's what I knew it was going to be. I made that decision going in. I was like, I'm going to go into this. It's not going to be easy. I'm probably going to fail lots. But I have the potential to be where I want to be, and I believe I'm capable enough to learn anything I need to learn and become the person I need to be to achieve the result I wanted. So I did it. It took me, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit slow, but it took me 8 years of trying and failing before I got through to where I can say I will never have to go back to working anything ever again if I choose not to.